Hello, hello, hello. We are live, I believe. Let's see. Am I live? YouTube says excellent connection. We are live. Howdy. Who's out there? This is a very last minute stream. I was not planning on doing this tonight. But you know what? Here we are. I just realized I have some time. I don't have anything going on in the morning. Hey there, Sonja. Glad to have you in chat. Yeah. I didn't really plan on doing anything tonight, but then, I just realized I was free tomorrow morning, tonight, so I was like, you know what, I can do a little bit of a stream. I could put in more time on the, Crestminster, I guess, could be an alternative, but, it was either that or, or do a stream, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to just chill and stream, see what people chat about. Thanks for the compliments on the shirt, Jack. I've officially decided what I'm going to do with this hat, the one that was gifted to me by, Adrian. I'm just gonna use it for streams. What in the streaming is going on? Well, we're streaming. We're doing a stream. I don't know what we're gonna be talking about. I didn't plan anything. I have been doing a lot of random work in RaenonX. Because RainonX released a feature today of a modifier, a frequency modifier. Now, I don't like the way that they added it because they just added it as like a base. Wait, you can make it minus 100%? Why would they even allow that? What? That's funny. What if I make it not... Okay, it's not updating when I do that. Wait, I wonder... This is very random, but... Okay, what does it do? This is very random, but yeah, they released this functionality. You can just modify, there's a helping frequency adjustment. They announced they're going to do this for, expert mode on the off-type berries and the on-type berries. But I really wonder what it does if you tell it 100%. Does it say, like, not a number? Or does it just crash the website? That would also be possible. Did I just break RaenonX? We're only about 2.5 minutes into the stream, and I already broke RaenonX. Let's not do that. Off type gives minus 100. Well, that'd be on type if anything. Minus 100% frequency. Ah, yes. This is what they're going to do. They're going to give us minus 99% frequency on type Pokemon, right? Guys, 112 million Snorlax strength. This is definitely the biggest number I've seen in a RainonX calculation. I can make it even bigger. I can do this. If I refresh the page here. 220... I wonder if there's a way you can get 1 billion Snorlax strength. Oh gosh, now I'm just... Okay. I really want to see if we can get it to 1 billion. Dear gosh, okay. We're gonna pull in a Cresselia here. Oh man. 739,000. Hey, we're doing alright there. How many procs per day? 15? They're doing great for our energy. Level 100. Hey, there we go. It was easy to make RaenonX go past 1 billion Snorlax. Right. You can almost do it at level 75 with this team. I'm sure if you did it, if you had something faster, something better, they'd do it. But yeah, I didn't prep to do any streaming tonight, but just decided last minute, you know what? I want to do some prep, because you know what? I'm thinking genuinely, I'm probably going to end up going to... oh gosh, I need to correct this. We're going to bring this up to more realistic, like 25% for off-type. This is more likely what we'd work with. And I theorize 25%. Just because if I go into production comparison, okay, and I bring in a Wigglytuff, my expectation would be that if it's on type, it should do better than a Gardevoir as well for healing if it's on type and the Gardevoir is not. So let's change this around. Gardevoir level 50 compared to Wigglytuff level 50. You can see that Wiggly procs about 5 times a day. Gardevoir 6.23 with the 25%. Now, when they're at 0%, which is base, plus 20%, minus 10. So I think minus 10, and I'll get into why I'm thinking it's going to be minus 10 and plus 25. That's my running theory. Plus 10 and minus 25. Or, no, plus 25, minus 10. So, Wiggly, by default, gets 6.21 procs. I would expect that if they really want Wigglytuff to actually shine, it needs to outperform Gardevoir in the skill. Now, I guess you could apply this to any main skill, but realistically, like, and in order to make it outperform, this Gardevoir would need to be proccing 6.21. If I make the helping bonus adjustment, or the frequency adjustment, 25%, Gardevoir is producing 6.23, which is almost the same as the unadjusted Wiggly. So, I guess actually I should expect 30% by that standard, because you'd expect the Wigglytuff to do better than the Gardevoir. And here the Gardevoir is finally doing worse if I make it 30%. So maybe I should expect 30%. Who knows? Only time will tell. But I'm expecting that realistically they're going to make it that on-types do better than off-types. So we could probably see, like, in some of the skills, like, extra helpful. We probably will see Arcanine or Jolteon with the modifications do better than, say, Gallade. We can probably expect to see that in, like... Hey there, Carolyn Stromlid. Glad to have you. Good morning for you, good night for me. Well, not quite good night yet, but it will be in a couple hours. But I'd expect to see these gaps close up on the Pokemon that are, like, from the bottom of the skills specialist lists to the top. So, yeah. It's really difficult to say, but only time will tell as far as procs go. But I think the biggest discrepancy between, like, a single skill would be, like, the healing skills. I guess there's a huge discrepancy between Dream Shard Magnet, but Dream Shard Magnet shouldn't be relevant in Expert Mode, because if they've designed Expert Mode well, then Dream Shard Magnet should be not a consideration, because we should be focusing on strength first and foremost, until maybe the end of the week. Although, let's see, how would we, if we made this comparison on the Charge Strength M Pokemon, what point would it need to be? If we assume, like, Health Speed M, Skill Trigger M, you know, 2,000 hours slept with, so inventory is not a consideration, then it'd be 7.4 for Ampharos versus... Oh, this is with the skill boost. I forgot about that. So, 7.4 versus 7.14. So, for Ampharos, if we make this 0... 8.96. So that'd be a severe nerf to Ampharos. 20% would be 7.94. Yeah, I'm going to expect it to be like 20 to 30%. Somewhere in that range. I'm going to call it now. Somewhere from 20 to 30% probably. Because 30% like makes that Wiggly overcome the Gardevoir. So I'm expecting that. 30% frequency. 20 to 30% frequency. Now as for the buffs, and this is a bit more complicated to discuss, but realistically if we look at like the best berry specialists in the game, wait, that's gonna be here. If we do the good old-fashioned berry specialists, fully evolved, all of them, they really need to select, all button here, but what do you think the shards and candy bonuses be? I think 1.5 times is too little and 2x is too much. I don't know. Only time will tell on that. Man, why is it putting Blaziken that high? Oh, because I have it sorted by release date, that's why. Yeah, I don't know what it would be. We'll have to see what they are, but yeah. As of right now, the worst berry specialist that actually functions like a berry specialist is Marowak. Producing, well, let's see. How much berry strength? Let's get rid of release date there. I don't need that. 50,000. Why is it saying Blaziken's producing the most? Well, maybe it is producing the most berry strength. Yeah, wait, what? There's something wrong here. There's something very wrong here. Usually this is a sign of something with energy, because... with the energy settings. 2 nights in a row, these lives have made work fly by. Yeah, it's gotta be something with energy. But I saw that I had energy settings set right in there. Like, I just checked it out. Because Blaziken should not score in that highly. I know these charts in and out. Yeah, it's putting Blaziken... That is wrong. There's something... Wait, 81,000. Where's it getting an additional... ingredient strength, maybe? What? No, it's getting just a lot of berry strength. Blaziken is not that fast. Do I have some sort of weird boost going to... Is there an event bonus that I'm missing? That's going to just fighting types or something? What do you think? Should I focus on getting M20 on every island before trying expert mode? I'm missing the last 3 islands. I also want the new Pokemon, and I know they have increased spawns. So, I'm thinking that the expert mode's probably going to be easier than Master 20 in the last couple islands, because it is still green grass. I know it's called expert mode, but I'm not expecting them to ramp up the curve too much. It is going to be random, but since they've said that there's going to be expert mode at other islands, I'm expecting it's going to be expert mode plus. And if I think about how easy it is to unlock a Master 18 at Greengrass, that's not a very difficult thing to achieve. So, yeah, no, why is this Blaziken showing up? They haven't buffed Blaziken since the last time I ran these numbers, so there's something else going on here that I'm missing. What is happening? Blaziken is not that fast. Unless they overnight buffed it, but I haven't heard of anything like that. Still 4320. More stream, yes, Chewy, I'm in here. And I'm trying to figure out what is going on in my settings that's putting Blaziken this insanely... Like, usually this is an energy thing. Usually it's an energy thing, but you can... Oh wait, it is an energy thing. It's putting my crest is only performing 5.94 times per day. That's definitely it. That... What? 9.68? Huh? What is going on with my energy settings? Either way, I know that my crest procs about 6 times a day at 11 energy. I'm gonna plug that in. That's what it should be. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A second stream this week? Yeah, there is. Wait, why is the blade... What? Okay, 18.1. That should fix it. That's the energy for everyone level 6. There we go. This is more like what I'd expect to see. Yeah, that seems more reasonable. That seems more in line with what I'm used to seeing. But yes, as for what I expect the buffs to be, I would expect the buffs for expert mode to be just fast enough that, like, lower tier Pokemon, like Marowak, would produce more total strength than even the best one if it's off-type. So we need to adjust the frequency so that's enough. Ivan Brown isn't here, barely watchable. Yeah, he's not here right now. Maybe he'll catch on to the fact that I'm doing a stream and then ask to tune in. I didn't even tell him that I was doing this tonight because I didn't even know I was doing it till like 20 minutes ago. When I was like, you know what? I can do that tonight. But anyway, oh, that's 30%. Let's go down to 0%. Okay. This is base. So, 68,475. What number is it where... at what point does Marowak overpass 114,000? Is it 10%? No. Is it 15%? No. 20%? No, still. Man, Marowak is terrible. We all knew this, though. Wow, it's still not good enough. Yeah, it was because I had at plus 30,000. I had it at plus 30%, so that was the problem. Wow, I think in order for Marowak to overcome a Lolatails, it would take like 35% if you're going in 5% intervals. So 35% or 30% Marowak is at 112k. At base, a Lolatails is at 114k. So realistically, we said 35% on the plus side for Marowak to overtake a Lolatails. And in the minus side, to be fair, Marowak is just terrible, and A9Tails is insane. Yeah, maybe we need to but even if we compare to, like, Typhlosion... Wait, do I have... Oh, no, I have it set to base. Yeah, A9Tails is insane, especially with the way RaenonX calculates it. But even if we compare it to Typhlosion, that's still a 35% is necessary for it to overcome that. I guess 30% from Meganium and a lot of the other ones. But that's if we go off total strength. They'd probably more be looking to balance for berry strength. Oh, darn it, not berry count. That's going to give us something very different. So if we go off a berry strength, then let's compare. We're gonna leave slacking out. Slacking is weird. Thank you for your thoughts. I need to get the kids ready. Looking forward to a watch later. Anytime, Carolyn. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, let's compare. This is going to be a lot closer. We compare off of berry strength. 68k versus 96. So we need... What's the modifier to get Marowak to 96,000? Berry strength. It's going to be... Is it 20%? No, it's going to be more than that. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's 30% either way. So 30%, I guess, or it was 35% with comparing to the A9Tails. But yeah, also Marowak is really, truly terrible, so maybe we should go off of more Arbok. Which is such a shame to see him so far down here. I love Arbok. He's my boy. But then, okay, so to get it to 89k, I'm gonna guess it's like 20 or 15. Okay, roughly 15%. I think that's a fair amount. Plus 25% minus 15%. So I'm gonna guess anywhere from plus 20 to 30. Minus 10 to 20. That's my guess for the favored berry bonuses. The primary. That's what I'm trying to say. The primary berry bonuses. I'm guessing you're gonna guess somewhere from minus 10 to minus 20% frequency. And I'm gonna guess that the off type berry is somewhere from plus 20% to plus 30% for frequency adjustments. Just using Wigglytuff and Arbok as baselines. Poor Marowak. Poor Marowak is all I have to say. Although if Marowak has the primary berry, then people are just going to use Swampert. That's also the biggest thing. But yeah. I kind of wanted to go through my box and kind of just... So, I wanted to show off a concept that I was making. Marowak being weak is sad, but he's been through the worst. He's got the skull on and everything. That's true. That's true. The skull has not saved him. But anyway, I wanted to compare if I was to go to Greengrass Expert Mode, and I had these nerfs, theoretically, then what would a team look like if I was to just go there and push for strength? And I theorycrafted up, like, a berry baseline. I like to nickname this concept the berry baseline. And maybe I'll do a video about it someday. But berry baseline is like the idea of if you have just your best generalist team. And it comes to the idea that berries are strong in, like, your baseline, but they aren't. It isn't necessarily all berry Pokemon. But if you just take your strongest generalist Pokemon and throw them all in a team, then what team do they output? Or what strength do they output? By default, this team would produce roughly 4.89 million with a good camp ticket. with a... This is a minus 15% boost to frequency. But obviously I'm not going to be getting that lucky. I don't even... That'd be more types than can even be favored. But if we assume that's a 30% frequency debuff, that seems like it's way better than I thought it was. Where's there? There's something else going on here that I'm missing. Wait a minute. Ah, here's what it is. I had that cranked up. Good thing for the comparisons earlier that didn't matter. This, it actually matters. Okay. 1.5 million with a plus 30% frequency impact. This is my berry baseline. This is the baseline for me in expert mode greengrass. Because this is 0% area bonus, plus 30% frequency, which I think is the absolute... I think that's the maximum of like what they'll do. Theoretically, if they make it 100%, then I guess 1.017 mil is my berry baseline. If I just completely ignore the primary berries altogether. But I have this idea as a baseline for strength. Nothing should be stronger or weaker than this. If I create a team that builds around the favored berry and builds around the meal type and I yield less than this amount of strength, then I have failed and I should just default to this team. Because this team is going to be stronger even if I don't bother with anything. We started 0% area bonus. Yep, this was 0% area bonus. What's this? A rogue live stream. Yes, indeed. Just random live stream. Chatting it up, or Endor. But yeah, it said that it confirmed that they're going to give us expert bonus. Thought you were going to say I failed and should have deleted the game. I mean, it also could mean that I have failed and like shouldn't use that team and just re-default to this. Or it means I should level up the Pokemon that I'm using. And this concept is kind of useful for some things. Like, I oftentimes think of this as like my bare minimum. Like, okay, if I go to, say, Amber Canyon, and I replace the weakest member of this team with my Arbok, does my Arbok actually improve the experience there? I can see that I get 1.68 million compared to, on the baseline team, 1.56 million. I know that it was actually a good idea to swap off the Arbok, because it performs better than the very baseline. But maybe I start getting fancy, and I start trying to make a synergistic team with synergizing meals and things, and somehow this ends up at like 909k, despite all my best efforts. Forgetting that just, baseline berries productivity does better. Now, obviously, I wouldn't run with this team. This team would be terrible, because it's, missing 2 Pokemon. But can you try a double healer scenario for this team? This team? Or the baseline? I mean, baseline, it may be worth it to actually do double healer. Just because, it may actually be kind of helpful. Probably Gardevoir. Just because the extra frequency means that Crest isn't going to be as reliable. So my double healing still comes out weaker. If I use my other healer, this one, and I was to actually main skill seed it, it still comes out weaker. Double healer comes out weaker than having the Sceptile in there. So, and this is not doing a skill boosted week. This is just any given expert mode team. What am I going to yield? Now, unfortunately, RaenonX may have implemented a helping frequency adjustment, but they didn't implement a helping frequency adjustment to specific types that are avoided by other types yet. They're probably waiting to kind of see how expert mode is implemented before they actually give us that, but there's some ways that we can use this to actually kind of adjust it. When they announced Amber Canyon, I was at Greengrass, and my berries were poison dragon ground. That is funny. You got a sample of it before the rest of us, Noah. But yeah, very rarely is double healer actually reasonable. It's excessive, usually. If you look at the energy curve here, even with a nerfed Crest at plus 30% frequency, this team is still landing a 2x modifier. So, I'm not really that concerned. And even on the energy recovery down Pokemon, the curve is 1.9421. So, I'm not too concerned about healing on this team. But yeah, 1.56, I guess, is my berry baseline. So that brings me to all these monotype teams that I built. Because I built these monotype teams to say, on any given expert mode week, even if we have just one favored berry, what can we pass 1,000,000 strength? It doesn't matter. This fire team is useless. Because it doesn't surpass that baseline. So, how about no healer assuming the team was at 150 energy? Well, I mean, that's always going to be strong. But unless you're a whale, you're not going to be getting that. Okay, this team, 1.34. This one's also useless to me. Let's go and delete that as well. I need to clear out some of these excess teams that I have. This team, grass, you know what? This is wrong because I haven't actually leveled up the subtile in here yet, but I can't imagine that's going to make or break this. Yeah, it's still 1.39 million. All these teams, they're not good. What do you know? What about the Mono Psychic? Oh, here's the first one that actually breaks my berry baseline. So if I roll Psychic Berries, then I can consider something else. There's also... Where did I delete the electric one? The electric one is also funny, but it's somewhere else. What were all these compare? Oh, I made some comparisons for someone who's asking questions in the Discord about their thing. This is Amber Canyon theorizing. I don't even know what this team was for. I've been needing to clean these out for a while. I talked about this in my video today. I think this guy's funny. This Aggron, he's funny. Potential investment one day. We'll see. I doubt it, but this is the team that I'm running this week. No, it's not, because I'm not running Espeon. I'm running Pomo. Which, there goes all the milk for this team. This must be for a different week that I'd prepped. Do you have any videos on how to utilize RaenonX? I do have some. They were posted some time ago. I've been asked to do more RaenonX tutorials. The thing is, I just don't know what else there is to really say. Like, I think that I was pretty comprehensive in the first couple ones, but I've been asked for more, so maybe I'll go back to it sometime. I just don't know what else to add, I guess. My theoretical Amber Canyon team. With Bug, Dragon, Poison, getting 2 million Snorlax strength. That's gonna be so weak. It's gonna be like nothing at the Amber Canyon. That's gonna be like Master 2 or something. If that ends up actually being Master 2, please somebody clip this. That'd be hilarious. RaenonX are what I watch and then subscribe to you. Thanks, Sleeper C. Glad you enjoyed those ones. I definitely enjoyed making them. But I feel like a lot of people know that I know Raenon, and I know it better than most people for sure. It's certainly... I know how to click through this whole website, and I probably could impart more knowledge, but had to rewatch certain parts of those videos. Yeah, really, a lot of it just comes down to knowing this menu. This menu is... Honestly, this menu is more impactful to your team's calculations than actually having your team set correctly. If these settings are wrong, your calculations are going to be wrong. And that makes the biggest impact. That alone. But yeah. 1.985. Congrats on the 1K subs. Those are the hardest. Yeah. Thanks, Spinda. It is good to finally be at 1K subs. It's huge. Alright, I hope this finds you well. Hey, Ubumalu. Imagine being an expert, Greengrass 18, you can't even complete the M3 daily mission at Amber Canyon. RIP. Yeah, it's gonna be hefty. Should I do some theorizing here? So Old Gold Power Plant, M20, or M... What is M3? 1.2 mil? Okay, I guess it'll probably be like 1.5 mil. If I had to guess. Because what was it on Lapis? For M3? Hey there, I'll say Ren Contra. Oh, it was 850k. Okay, so it jumped 400k for that. Okay, they're actually... It might be like 1.6 mil. It might be like 1.6 mil for it at Old Gold, or at Amber Canyon. Because, okay, Snowdrop to Lapis went from 719k to 850k, and then Old Gold went up to 1.2 million. Velocity French accent. I don't know. I don't know French. Is that French? I kind of speak some Spanish. Not a lot. I took like 5 years in high school. Well, not high school. 5 years in schooling. 1 year middle school, 4 years high school, 1 semester in college. So I know a decent amount of Spanish, but I'm not fluent by any means. Just call me Asa. That works. Yo si hablo español. Sí, un poco. No es muy bien. Asa te frère. Okay. So yeah. As far as Webmaster 3 looks like, it might be a significant step up from the last islands, because top was 400k, so there's a huge step up from top to Snowdrop, and then a small step up from Snow. That's really weird. Es muy bueno de español. Ay, gracias. Gracias. Gracias, amigo. Okay. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one. Hello, do you have Discord? I do have Discord. I have a community Discord. I link in the description of all my videos. I don't have it in the description of my streams. I probably should do that. That'd probably be beneficial, but I do have Discord. I'm currently in Do Not Disturb mode since I'm streaming. I still have a lot of styles on Old Gold that I'm missing now that they've added all these ones. I also have somehow not encountered Honchcrow once. Nice content. Oh gosh. I'm not going to try to pronounce all the French. It won't go well. Okay, I'll get the link from the video. Thanks. Anytime, anytime. France loves... Well, thank you. I'm glad France loves me. I'm over here in the Americas, but... You know why? Anyone know why M3 is where they put all the incenses? I mean, it isn't early game if you're early game enough, because it scales off of your research rank. In fact, it is possible that one day they may actually make it take a higher point. I don't think they are at this point, though. If you want to see your best berry power mons for Lapis, how would you do it? Well, there's kind of 2 ways you could go about it. You can kind of get a feeling for it. There's actually a few different ways you could go about it. You could either go into... If you have all your Pokemon in your box, if you have them all saved in here, as I kind of have, then you can just go into the config and tell it, I want to see it for Lapis Lakeside. Oh gee, I totally forgot it used to not be M3, it's been so long. Yeah, those early days go by fast. But yeah. Then you can click just Lapis Lakeside, and it will tell you what's your best generalist for Lapis Lakeside. And it will just give that to you with that information. Now, if you have any sort of cooking settings enabled, then it may rank something's higher. Like if I tell it desserts, and I go in here and tell it that I'm making 3 times a day level 65 Clodsire eclairs, then suddenly things that have like cacao and milk will shoot to the top. But if I do the same sort of thing... But instead I tell it I'm making sukiyaki curry at level 65. Then it's going... Wait, I didn't actually change it. Curries. Then, see, my Quackle Bowl suddenly shoots up. So it kind of depends on those meal settings. I would say if you're trying to evaluate for an island, a generalist, to leave the meal settings blank. But then config, set it to Lapis Lakeside. And that'll give you an idea. Now he has a ridiculous Septop for... Yes, I do. And if I was to configure this to be like fully upgraded, so that's assuming max subskill seating and max main skill seeding, and say they're all at level 60 at least. And they're, well, let's not say final evolution. Then the Sceptile, it doesn't quite outperform the Cresselia. Do note with Cresselia specifically, if you have it, this is going to, Cresselia will be the best for Lapis in the calculator. In practice, that's not necessarily the case, just because this assumes that Cresselia is running alongside 4 other different psychic types, which is the best possible scenario for Cresselia. Most people won't be doing that. So this is overshooting it a little bit, and I wish there was kind of a way to get around that. But, oh well. That's kind of where that's one good spot for it. Otherwise, if I want to see just in general, these are my best Pokemon, if you wanted to know. If I was to full invest everything, then these would be my best Pokemon. Let's see. Where is the... If I was to take everything to 100, then these would be my best Pokemon. Would you look at that? No Gardevoir. That's also a thing. This doesn't like healers. Healers are very, very powerful, as we all know. But it doesn't necessarily like them when evaluating this way, because this doesn't really take into account healing strength, since healing is such a complicated thing to put into practice. Another way to evaluate is once you get an idea of what your best Pokemon are there, then you can take them over to production comparison and throw them all in. Like I could see, okay, how much does my Espeon produce at Lapis? And then how does it compare to my Raichu? And then you can kind of see in here, 74k versus 67k. But that's also assuming help bonus stack 0. If you want to make that null, they both benefit because they both have helping bonus. So this setting is very important if you have helping bonus Pokemon. But overall, if you're evaluating generalists, probably leave this blank. Leave it at 0 if it's like you're evaluating ingredient or skill specialists. If you want to compare healers, then probably get rid of this. And then just like drop in Gardevoir. I can be like, okay, who's the better healer? And I can compare them all. I would say with that though, make sure to note that you have 0 energy. Although that's going to be managed up here if you're on the free-to-play version of Raenon. Yeah, my crest is good enough. No Gardevoir needed. Yeah, I have a pretty solid crest, so if you have a good enough crest, then it negates the need for a healer. Healers still can give some value, but not like a dedicated healer. Still can give some value, but there's diminishing returns, and it makes it somewhat redundant. Can solo heal? It kind of can. It produces so many berries that it makes up for its weakness in healing. What's the threshold on the solo heal? There's some crazy math behind that. I would recommend go watching my case for crest video. I can find a link to it if you want me to link it in chat, because I go deeper into it in there, and I do not remember all the math that I did for it. I called it the case for crests. Yeah. And the other big concept with it too isn't necessarily that the power balances out the energy loss, but also that adding another healer would be redundant because there's already enough healing from crests that the extra healing is just it's excess. It's excessive. Yeah, I can't find it right now. Oh well. But you need to have a pretty solid crest to do it. Like, for example, mine does, like, well, it says 5.67 triggers a day without any sort of boost. If I do it on good camp ticket, 7.29. I'd say probably, well, what is it? Because I wouldn't do it without the nature. 5.2, well, maybe, wait, what? Do I have like a... Because that should boost my crest by about 20% procs. Well, but then again, it's energy death spiraling, probably. 5.67 versus... Yeah. I'd say generally 6 is probably the number to shoot for. Which is funny to say that, because I use crests all the time, yet it's only... Well, it's 6.39 on good camp ticket weeks. 5 point... I'd say if you get 5 on off weeks, and 6 on a good camp ticket week, it's probably good enough. Which mine is, like, just beyond that, but... Best crest has just skill trigger and main skill up going for it. Not sure if it's worth it. Probably not if you're going to try and solo heal it. It is pretty good as a Berry Burst Mon, though. It's not the best Berry Burst Mon. I mean, obviously, we now have Sceptile. But Sceptile's really weird in that it wants to be a Berry Specialist. Well, I guess all of them kind of do. That's been discussed before. All of the Berry Burst... And that's something that I've been wanting to do a video about, but I kept getting distracted. I get distracted by a lot of things. But I'm pretty excited for Super Skills Week coming out here soon. But yeah, this is... Oh, wait a minute. That's why I made a mistake. I forgot. Wait, no, I don't have it. I didn't have any modifier active there. But a frequency modifier is insane. Fundamentally, it's pretty insane, and it helps Berry Specialists the most. I'm convinced it's going to help Expert. Oh, I'm Team Berry Fighting S on Ingredient Mons. I'm convinced it's going to help Expert mode. I mean, I don't think anyone's ever said that Berry Fighting S is truly bad on... Or anyone who's, like, actually... min-maxing the game. No one's really said that Berry Fighting S is bad on Ingredient Mons. It's just, generally speaking, with most Ingredient Mons, you want Ingredient Finding first. Because if you just go for Berry Fighting S and make it a Berry Fighting S or Bust Hunt, then realistically, you're going to end up with something that's weaker for ingredients and better for berries. But if you want something that's better for berries, just use the Berry Specialist. Now, that wasn't always the case for Dragonite and Altaria, but generally speaking, if you need something for berries, just use the Berry Specialist. The Ingredient Mon, you want to make sure it's good for the ingredients it's trying to make first and foremost, and there's so many levels of rarity. So many levels of rarity in this game, so many elements of RNG, especially for ingredient Pokemon. That's going to be very difficult to get Berry Fighting S on your ingredient Pokemon. If it lines up, and that's awesome, and good job. You got lucky. But I wouldn't say make it a hunt to try and have Berry Fighting S on your ingredient Pokemon. But I don't think anyone's ever said that it's a bad skill. But I know people have said it's a bad skill on ingredient Pokemon. I've seen it before. I've seen some people say that. You take a helping bonus in one trigger crest over a double trigger help speed M Gardevoir. I mean, if we're talking one trigger is help speed M, or not help speed M, skill trigger M, then maybe over a double trigger help speed M Gardevoir. Okay, depends on what the double trigger is, because there's when people say double trigger, that doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. It could be skill trigger M, skill trigger S, help speed M. That is weaker than skill trigger M, skill up nature, help speed M. Two very different degrees of strength there. But as far as a Cresselia goes, oh darn it. S and M. Okay, that's worse. Probably that's a difficult one. If it was a nature, then it probably would have been the Gardevoir in most situations, but that's a really solid crest. I mean, just helping bonus help skill trigger M is really solid. The question is, how much is it healing? See, 4.72. And that's, okay, yeah, that's with those set correctly. I mean, realistically, you can invest both if you have the seeds. I'd say hold off on the crest just because it's be very expensive. It's a legendary. You want something that's really, really good with a legend, and that is, well, that's actually really solid. The thing is, you want something that's better for triggers to actually make good use out of the skill, the seeds. If we make them level 60, because that's what I put the other one at. I mean, you're looking at like more than double the energy per day, but helping bonus is significant. Here, I can do a energy curve analysis for you. So we're looking at 11 times 4.72. Unfortunately, the crest has a neutral nature. That's all right. Neutral natures aren't terrible. Okay, so the crest's average energy curve is gonna be 1.9396. But we have to divide that by, and I'm doing this off screen. I've described why in the past. Have to divide that by 1.5786. So it's got a 1.22 times modifier times 1.052 for the help bonus. So 1.29 times modifier roughly for the crest. Versus that Gardevoir would trigger about 6.1 times a day at 18.1 energy. 6.1. Okay, so we're dealing with 2.2098. Divide by the, what was it? 1.5786. 39 point, so basically 40%. So yeah, here's the trade-off. If you go with the Gardevoir, you're gonna have a lot more reliable healing. It's going to lead to an overall team modifier of about 40% more from base, versus the crest is gonna be just beyond 29% for the base, for the modifier to the team's output, and it's gonna be less reliable. You're gonna get more energy death spirals. Now the good days are gonna be much better with the crest, but the bad days are gonna be much worse with the crest, and the bad days are gonna be more often. Well, they're not gonna be much worse, but they're gonna be more often. So personally, I'd probably rather use the Gardevoir in this situation, especially since the crest costs extra, because it takes more seeds. It also takes more candies. It takes more dream shards because it's a legendary. So I probably would pass on the crest in your situation. Helping bonus is very powerful on the healer, but it's got to still somewhat heal. Good night, all. Good night, Jack. Glad to have you around for when you were. But yeah, that's probably what I would say about that. It also depends if you're rotating or not. Yeah, that's also a thing. Well, that I wasn't even accounting for rotation. I was comparing with no rotation accounted for. Struggling with team composition around a mime. Any thoughts? I actually intend to make a video about mimes soon. I haven't quite gotten all my thoughts lined up, but you'll see that in probably the next couple weeks here. My goals are Crestminsters, mime video, and then whatever's next. Because I want to get the Crestminsters out before Toxel is here. Because sooner or later I'm going to have to open the Toxel Crestminster entrances. And boy, by golly, do I have a lot to get done with the just the ones that I have in front of me with the Hoenn starters. So that is eventually coming out, but it might be a couple weeks. So what's all this at this time of night for then? Nothing. I just wanted to do a stream. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I know my way around RaenonX. I'm here to discuss anything. I was kind of just planning my stuff for kind of trying to get an idea of what expert mode might look like. Maybe starting to do planning a team for Super Skills Week Volume 2. But I am willing to discuss anything. I'm willing to get distracted, so... Still have one Crest instance, plus I have a guard for a while. Bro regretted Crestminsters as soon as they released 5 mana once. I mean, this is it should be a rarity that they do that. Do you use RaenonX in mobile as well, or just computer mainly? Computer mainly, but I do use it on mobile when I'm on the go. I think I one time even recorded it on mobile one time when I was away camping. But I know how to use the mobile version as well. It's very similar, actually. They make them very similar. But thanks, Cameron. Thanks for appreciating all the hard work. I enjoy it. I'd be doing a lot of this anyway, if I'm honest. Because I enjoy the game. I was doing a lot of these sorts of calculations and work beforehand just to answer these questions for myself. The only thing is now, I record my conclusions and post them to YouTube. But whereas before, I might have every once in a while made a post to Reddit. And even that was few and far between because that's a lot of work. Writing up a long Reddit thread is more work than than just throwing on the camera and talking about it. Hey, glad to catch you. Need some help with some EVs. Down to help. Ian, thanks for the awesome content always. Anytime, Andres Escobar. If you want to tell me what the if you want to tell me what your EVs are, I mean, I can kind of give a brief analysis. I can throw them in the calculator too if need be, but I may have a good idea just before even throwing them in. 1K, I want a Raptor Pokemon Go video. I do actually have Pokemon Go. I could show you my account. It's not very exciting. It's got a bunch of old Pokemon that I don't work with anymore, but if you roll Steel, Rock, and Flying, what are you doing for Expert? I'm probably doing this. Just ignoring it. This honestly feels more realistic than, like, 'cause even if they make it like a 50% penalty, I still get 1.6 million with this team. So I'm like, if I roll Steel, Rock, Flying, I'm not even sure that any of these mons could get swapped out and still be worth it. What's a good Umbreon skill set? If you're gonna make use of an Umbreon, it's gotta be Berry Fighting S, Helping Bonus, Help Speed M, something like that, something insane like that. But realistically, I'd say don't use Umbreon unless you really like Umbreon and just want to make use of one of your favorites, because Umbreon, they did it very dirty in this game. It doesn't really have a role on teams. Arcanine or Alolan Ninetales? Well, both of those would appreciate Berry Fighting S quite a bit. Arcanine would appreciate more skill triggers. Alolan Ninetales would appreciate more helping speed as secondary stuff. But both would appreciate Berry Fighting S quite well. Now, Super Skills Week. Yeah, if I was... I'm honestly contemplating going to Super Expert Mode, Super Skills Week, just for the content, without even knowing any details. But the min-maxer in me can't let myself do that. I also don't have any great bug or poison types. Do you think there's anything I should be going for in the cooldown period before Toxel? Well, the thing is, the poison types in the game are not that great for strength. Like, realistically, the only, like, strong Pokemon that has favored Berry at Amber Canyon right now is just Dragonite. Altaria, Arbok, and Butterfree all kind of suck in their own way, but, yeah. Is that one coming out the Monday or the 11th? The 11th. Because it's coming out the Monday following the next maintenance, is what they said in the one announcement. And there's no maintenance this week. We would have been told about it by now if there was going to be maintenance, because they'd be doing it tomorrow night. And they give us more than 24 hours notice. YOLO it. I mean, if I don't know what'll happen if I YOLO it. I don't know what the boosts are. But at the same time, Toxel. Like, that's the thing. If Toxel wasn't the thing, and it wasn't a... My other big thing is it's a 1.5 times skill trigger rate event. And I want to run my Sludge Man Gulpin. So expert mode and event week overlap. Yes, they do. YOLO it? You think I YOLO it, Adrian? Oh gosh. So I have skill level up M and skill trigger M and help speed M in the next 2 levels. Calm nature. Not sure how much the speed down affects it, but since it's so heavily skill heavy, I wonder who the Evo could benefit. Well, Skill heavy EVs would do best as I mean, if I look at the ones that don't have Berry Finding S, like highly ranked, then like Vaporeon I'd say is probably best. Leafeon's not a great Pokemon overall. I'd probably recommend Vaporeon for a more skill-focused EV. Maybe Flareon if you need a pot expander. Oh, whoops. Poison Berry first week expert. I mean, I could handle it. I would honestly love to run Swalot, even if it is Poison Berry. Like, yeah. Also, my Arbok. Right, normally I'd probably focus on Dratini candy, but currently I have a pretty nice Swablu, but no candies for it. Should I still go for Dratini? Well, they do different things. Dragonite really is more of an ingredient Pokemon that just happens to be really strong for berries as well. Meanwhile, Altaria is the one for the actual berries. Even though it sucks for the berries. I've played since release date. I've never made Master 18 on Greengrass Island. How do I get there? My best is Master 16 on week 2 of Anniversary Event. Well, Mitchell, I would say that really the best thing to do, you could probably do it next week if you have been playing since release. Well, you probably aren't min-maxing that much, because Master 18 shouldn't be that big of a bar to surpass. I'd say the best way to go about it, just try to figure out which Pokemon in your box are strongest. If I was to go to Greengrass nowadays, like I said, if I just use this team and I go there next week at Greengrass Island, I hit Master 18. Granted, I've very carefully selected my I've very carefully selected my investments here, but you might have something similar in your box. If you have something that matches favorite berry, it might make it easier. I'd say generally get a healer, get a lot of strong Pokemon, make a meal. I have a level 49 Tyranitar with Ingredient Up Nature, Ingredient M, and Help bonus at 50. I get Berry Finding S. Will the Berry Finding S hurt him greatly? No. Berry Finding S doesn't really hurt anything. It might on some of the Pokemon that are more down, and in this chart, there are some Pokemon down here that it might hurt them a little bit if they are more susceptible to inventory issues, such as Ditto, maybe Quagsire or Clodsire. But I'd say, generally speaking, the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. Because the only thing it hurts is the inventory. It doesn't actually hurt their ingredient productivity if you're collecting enough. So definitely take it to Berry Finding S. It just doubles the berry productivity, which is a nice added bonus. Oh, whoops, I closed out of the tab. Okay, Flareon, so don't worry about the speed down. Hey, I've got a Calm Nature Flareon. I would show it to you, but I don't have my phone casting set up. You should stick with where you want to go rather than for content. See, but I want to go there because I think it's more fun. But, like, my heart is... but, like, the brain... Honestly, it's where I want to go, and it's where I know there's more content, and I think it's more fun to test out the new stuff. But at the same time, I know that it's probably the min-maxy decision to go to Old Gold. If Toxel is alright. Wait, so we know what the new Island Berries will be? It's technically not confirmed. It's technically not confirmed. But I would assume, or we all kind of assume because of the ending of the teaser trailer that was posted in the Presents. I would assume, or the community kind of assumes, in the last image, it was Flygon flying away, and there was Pinsir laying on the side, and then there was Paldean Wooper on the side of Snorlax as well. So it showed a dragon flying away, it showed there a bug, and it showed a poison type. Bug type and a poison type. So that was pseudo-confirming bug, dragon, poison, which only makes sense since all the other berries have an island already. So it's basically, it's kind of been confirmed even though they technically never said it. What is min-maxing? I mean, min-maxing is just like the process of going through the game and figuring out. It means like playing the game and not necessarily playing the game. You can play the game not min-maxing, but it means dedicating time to figuring out what's the strongest investment. Got you tagged and ready to evolve for next week when I go to Top Hollow. Yep. How often do I live stream? Here and there. It's very inconsistent, just when I have time. This week I've done it. This is my second live stream in a week, but I think I've gone a couple weeks without live streaming before, so. Here's a fun hypothetical. If you were in charge of deciding the next Pokemon to be put in the game, what would you choose? Haxorus. That's not even a question. I've talked about it before. Haxorus is my favorite Pokemon. It's a 3-stage line, which I think the game could use more of. It's a dragon type, which I think the game could use more of. I'm very biased, and I'd say Haxorus. I'm stuck between 2 Tricos, Berry Finding House, Help Bonus, Inventory M with Hasty, Berry Finding House, Skill Tree M, Dream Shard Bonus, and Adamant. Compare them with level 6 main skill, and the second one shows stronger, but I find it hard to pass on the first. They're both amazing. I'd say the first is probably better just because of Helping Bonus. It's probably evaluating it that way just because you probably have Helping Bonus stacks set to 0 instead of null. But then again, if any Pokemon is to take it, Helping Bonus is very strong. I'd probably favor the Helping Bonus. Granted, Hasty is meh. Inventory meh. M is meh. But still. You think there will be more islands after the Amber Canyon? I hope so, but they don't necessarily. They haven't confirmed. And there's very good case that now with Expert Mode, they might delay things even more if they are to do that, because adding Expert Mode at more islands could be the way of adding new areas. You do it more often? Yeah, I'd like to do it more often, but if I do it more often, that's less time for videos. And I'm already backlogged. I'm already procrastinating the Crestminster right now. I hate maintenance where I live. It starts just before I get up and almost extends until lunch. If you want to make breakfast, you got to be on it. Woof. For me, it happens in the middle of the night. Man with a green lizard mascot wants a green lizard. Yes. Well, here's the funny thing. If they add Haxorus, I am going to change the channel logo to whatever the 3-star Haxorus is. It's my favorite Pokemon, so yeah. What Pokemon do you think will be the first fighting legendary added? Wondering for Gallade's sake. Well, I don't know how many. What fighting legendaries are there? I need to search legendary Pokemon. I know that there's. Okay, there's the swords, but if they add the swords, there probably be 3 different typings, and they're probably none of them are going to be fighting, if I had to guess. Otherwise, Okidogi is fighting type. Otherwise, the Galarian bird variants, there's a fighting type in Zapdos, but there aren't that many fighting type legends, so I don't know. I have a Comfey that I excitedly leveled up before knowing any stats and stuff. Haha. Would you continue to build an IFS IUM? So, Green Fighting S, Inventory up M, Help Speed M, Jolly Nature. Ooh. Nope, I would not. Thing is, it's Jolly Nature. That's Ingredient Fighting down. That is not worth. And Comfey is not a species that is worth minting. The only way to recover that is minting it. But, like I said, Comfey is not a species worth minting. Granted, I minted an Arbok, so what can I say? But it was an Arbok with crazy, like, stats. Crazy stats. So that's a whole different thing. Interesting choice. If your favorite Pokemon is Haxorus, is there a story to the Tyranitar profile picture? The Tyranitar profile picture is because it's my favorite Pokemon that's currently in sleep. So that's where that's from. But that would change if they added Haxorus. Tyranitar is one of my favorites as well, but not like Haxorus. I like him. I don't know what it is. Urshifu, maybe? I mean, Urshifu is a fighting type legend. That's true. But yeah. I want Articuno and Galar Virgin 2 so bad. Yeah, the Galar Articuno is cool. Very pretty bird. I love the Galarian birds shinies as well, being homages to their original colors. Perfect. Perfect shinies. Gallade relinquished to obscurity by fighting typing. I mean, not necessarily. That could be something going for it in Expert Mode. What's your favorite Pokemon mainline game or spin-off game? Well, I've only played one mainline game, and that is Heart Gold. So I feel like I just have to say the one mainline game that I've played. That's because I have nothing else to compare it to. As for spin-offs, I think I've only played Go. But Sleep is definitely my favorite spin-off, as it's the one that I've definitely put a lot more time into. But second would probably be Go, because once again, it's the only one that I've played. My Arbok is broken. It is indeed. Rip Comfey, also indeed. Do you have any theories or ideas on how they'll implement Megas and Dynamax? Dynamax, they probably won't. If they ever do, it'll be a long way down the road because I don't think anyone's asking for that. Megas, I don't know. I don't even have any theories as to how that could work. Maybe like one day you can Mega Evolve and you have to pick which day, but if that's the case, maybe like Monday is usually the best day for it, so... I'd love to see Regigigas in the game. Imagine a 3-star overgrown sleep style. That'd be awesome. Although, we'll just wait for them to add Regigigas and give it slow start. The first 5 days of every week, it has half frequency. Or, no, not half frequency, double frequency. What legendary would I like to see? Personally, I think the Swords Trio would be kind of cool just to get some more type coverage. But as for legends that I actually really like and would love to see added to the game, I mean... This is going to sound weird, but I really like... Qian Pao is one of my favorite legends, so I also wouldn't be opposed to the Treasures of Ruin. I know that's not going to happen, and definitely an unpopular opinion. The Regis are also cool. I don't know. There's a lot of cool options. How would you design the specialty and main skill for Haxorus? I would make Haxorus just a cracked-out berry specialist, probably. Dragonberry, we need a Dragonberry specialist. We might be getting one with Flygon here. We need a better one. As of right now, we have Altaria, which I'm sorry, Altaria just doesn't quite cut it. But yeah, we're getting Flygon, so maybe that'll be the berry specialist, giving Haxorus more freedom. But they could do a cool ability for it. I know that in the base game it gets Rivalry. Mold Breaker. And I think Unnerve, maybe? Yes, it is Unnerve. Yeah, Rivalry, Mold Breaker, and Unnerve. Wow, how did I know that off the top of my head without ever playing any of the base games? I just like this guy so much. He's cool. Can't go wrong with the Weather Trio, even with water doubling up. Which one's the Weather Trio again? Oh, wait. I know I've heard the term the Weather Trio before. This shows you how much I know about Pokemon. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Oh, wait. Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza. Yeah, Rayquaza. Okay, yeah. Yep. I got it right before the chat started coming in. Yep. I would like that. They're cool. Elemental monkeys would be so cool. Yeah, a lot of people have said the elemental monkeys. Hey, if you want monkeys, there is a monkey legendary that people... They're not adding that. Let's be honest. Rayquaza skill, Dragon Ascent. Kyogre, Origin Pulse. Groudon, Precipice Blades. Calling it Beedrill getting released. Could you imagine if they added Beedrill as an Amber Canyon exclusive and made it absolutely cracked out of its mind? Like, making Beedrill one of the latest game Pokemon in Pokemon Sleep. That would be hilarious. Should we try to theorize what other Pokemon could be added for bug types at the last island? Kricketune. Hey, if they're going to do a bug type healer, it'd probably be Kricketune. Probably just get Energizing Cheer instead of Energy for Everyone, but still. Cosmog as a legendary with leveling up would be kind of toxic. Oh, that'd be terrible. But man, getting it to that point would be insane. I can imagine Kricketune crying. Kricketune in this game would be awesome. Selgor. Yeah, that'd be a cool berry specialist. It'd be cool to have something else up in the speed tier with Raikou, or even faster. Could be a cool gimmick. I wouldn't think they would do that, but if they put like a Selgor in the 2100 frequency with Raikou, that might be kind of balanced. Honestly, there are a lot of Pokemon who have Megas who are in the game. Love it. Look at the Mega list and pick out the ones who are Bug or Poison. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're necessarily going the route of Megas, though, but it is true that they're probably more going the route of adding more megas just to drum up the mega hype. Wow, I accidentally typed in an S there. Because Spencer's already in the game. I think it's just coincidence. I honestly think it's coincidence that there are a lot of mega Pokemon in the game. Just because a lot of the mega Pokemon are fan favorites. Like Lucario. You ran Bulma Snow, no one really loved, but it's very much so a Christmas tree. And what else were they going to add for Christmas? Other than Delibird, which they did add. Like Lucario is a fan favorite. Absol, a lot of people love. I guess not a lot of people love Banette, but Aggron's a beloved one. A lot of people love Mawile, Gardevoir, Blaziken, Tyranitar. Yeah, it'll probably be something cute like adding in Snom. I can see Snom, Scyther. I hope that they lean away from ones that could be 16 pips for quite some time. But, oh well. There's a lot of dual typings. But yeah. Paris, if they want to do the Gen 1 thing. Heracross. Ninjask and Shedinja could be... Oh, that would be cool. Also, it's Amber. Is there a Pokemon that's I was talking about this the other day with Adrian. It'd be perfect place for them to introduce some sort of fossil Pokemon. Fossil Pokemon will fit great there, because the whole concept behind fossils is like you're digging them out. Like, it's an amber canyon. Amber's in the name. You like, could there be anything better for fossil Pokemon? So is there a fossil bug type? Yes, Amber for fossil Pokemon. Yeah, Aerodactyl is the Amber Pokemon. Aerodactyl. Okay. I've just unleashed like a theory. Okay, Anorith Armaldo is a bug rock type that's fossil. So yes, there are some ideas there as well. With interesting. Very excited to feed rocks some biscuits. Yeah, I don't know how they would implement fossil Pokemon, because it's like they're not supposed to actually be like roaming. So like, would you mine them out? Like, what do you wake up and like there's just a rock there? A while back, I had a pretty neat idea from Morpeko skill specialist that alternates between ingredient skill and berry skill. That'd be kind of neat, going back and forth between like doing the one thing versus the other. Like, it goes back and forth between ingredient draw and berry burst. Don't know how meta relevant it'd be, but it'd be neat. I'd love to see more unique skills and abilities paid homage in Sleep. Can definitely see Dwebble and Crustle being at. Yeah, that would also fit. That would also definitely fit. Dwebble and Crustle there. Or Volcarona. I mean, where do you first find Volcarona? I know it's in the thing, but explore it or EV go hunt for fossils overnight. Kind of like plants. Yeah, that could work. Hear me out. Genesect. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Genesect would not be the next one added. Which do you think is more far-fetched? Genesect or Buzzwole? Or Slitherwing? It's definitely one of those three, right? Golisopod would be cool. Emergency exit. How would we implement emergency exit into Sleep? When it hits 50% energy, it just makes you have an open team slot. It just dips out. That'd be so useless and really annoying to manage. Yeah, it swaps off the team. Don't let it drop below 50% energy. Armor, Mewtwo clone and clones. Technically fossils. Hopefully other mythicals get implemented differently than Darkrai. I agree. I would love to see the other mythicals like actually be treated well. Now let's see. Can we theorize any poison types? What poison type Pokemon are there? Wait. I think that other website would actually work better for this. Does Berry Bomb and then you have to go grab it from your box every time? It's just like an annoying little thing. It does a Berry Bomb, but leaves. and then you have to just swap it back out of the team. That'd just be funny to like set up. But anyway, poison types. They could have the Nidos. That'd be cool. But that'd be a lot of new Pokemon for them to add at once, because it'd be 2 new lines of 3-stage Pokemon at once, while also adding Flygon. And there'd theoretically be another one after that, unless they gave us just the Nidos. Honestly, it's just coming up with ideas for Mons in the game. This is so much fun. I agree. Eternatus's Poison Dragon would fit. That's true, but so is Dragalge. Or Dragalge, however that one's pronounced. A Revavroom. I mean, they are giving us Toxtricity. That's a Gen 8 Pokemon, and so is Eternatus. I think, wow, they really did not add that many poison types in Gen 9. It's literally like just the Shroodle line, the Revavroom line, and Clodsire, and then Glamora. Okay, I guess there's a few, but most of them are the legendaries. Hiya. Hi there. Oddish for a grass or poison, depending on if you choose Blossom or Vileplume. I just love Vileplume. I watch a YouTuber who says I love Vileplume a lot, and you made me think of him. I wish they implemented more fun skills, though, for non-min-max players. I really wish they just had more fun skills that were honestly more fun to analyze. I was really hoping that there'd be some sort of homage to Speed Boost, that maybe like with Blaziken, it'd be like every time you collected its main skill. Like, if they made it a berry specialist, but every time you activated its main skill, it got like another Speed Boost added onto it, so that its frequency shortened, then it could be a berry specialist that really heavily cared about its like main skill, because then it would proc its main skill, get faster, proc its main skill, gets faster, and then when you sleep, it resets for the day. I think that could be kind of cool. But they didn't do that. Instead, their way to homage Speed Boost was by making it be self-recharging, which, if you have no energy for everyone healer, that is a Speed Boost, and makes it the strongest berry specialist in a world without healers. But, no, that's not how sleep meta works. Imagine if the Giga Chads of sleep with Vivillon. Really wish Togekiss was any good. I mean, it's fun. It's very fun. Agreed, I love Metronome was so overjoyed when they put it in the game. Yep. Technically, the self-heal does shorten it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. True, I love me some Mime Togekiss Clefable memes. If you made any vids on legendary help bonus teams, how to use it for prep weeks ahead of time, thinking about using its skills week to prep them. I did make one about helper boost teams. I did one both for berry bombing, and also one for general use as well. So there's 2 different videos that you could look up there. They never do this, but imagine if they debuted a brand new Pokemon in Sleep, like what they did with Go. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I doubt it'll happen, but that'd be awesome. Who was the OG Speed Boost Bond? Ninjask? Maybe they'll do something. I don't know how many Pokemon... What? I think Ninjask was one of the first ones to get Speed Boost. But Speed Boost is like what Blaziken is kind of just known for. Wow. Yanma apparently gets it. But as hidden ability... Yanma, Ninja... Yeah, Yanma is earlier, I guess. Actually, it looks like it's the same generation. Oh, perfect. I'll go find him. Thank you. Blaziken should have got the speed boost. Plus 5% speed every proc. Reset that sleep. Hold up. Let me... I just said that like 20 minutes ago. Not even 20 minutes ago. But yeah, speed boost would have been fun. If they implemented it something like that. Doesn't need to be exactly what I'm saying, but... You're all good. You're all good. You're all good. All they gotta do is make a meal with apples, beans, herbs. I would love that. And mushrooms. And the 4 ingredient mons plus Blaziken meta will come alive. If they do apples, beans, and herbs... Well, okay, wait. Depends what you mean by beans. You mean bean sausage or soybeans? Also, Adrian Styles, I love that you changed the profile picture to do a Blaziken mid-conversation. You guys play Pokemon Champions. The fact that we don't have to grind might make me try VGC. I'll probably be playing it. I like the idea of it. I've followed VGC for a while and love some of the discussions around the niches there. So, yeah. I'm waiting for a chili recipe that uses tomatoes, beans, bean sausage, and leeks. The real talk is, what ingredient gets introduced with Amber Canyon? I mean, that's really too hard to say because they have an infinite number of possibilities. It really could be anything. Bean sausage for everyone, yes. Okay, good. Bean sausage. If they had a meal that has herbs, bean sausage, and apples, if you followed the channel for a while, you'll know what that means for me. It's a suit wearing Blaziken. Ah, very fancy. Bring on the custom profile. Nice, nice. No, apples, bean sausage, and herbs. If they ever make that a meal, then I've got an investment that's just waiting in my box. This dude. I can't get over the stinking stats that I rolled on this guy. I want him to be good, but there's just nothing for synergy on these ingredients right now. Jeez, yeah. I got him so long ago. Let me actually put a healer on this. We'll say like 6 procs a day. Let's look at that. Oh, that's 0 healing. Okay. Just like, look at that spread. That's so many ingredients. Granted, it's not like perfect, but like that's the... Yeah, just hit level 40 Fue Coco today. Oh, friendship level 40. Still hunting. Well, I hope it goes well for you. As for new ingredients, though, I mean, there's a lot of things that I could do. I think one idea that I've had in the past was, like, peppers. And like I said, I've discussed this with Adrian before. Peppers. Like, there's, like, cayenne pepper desserts, like chocolate bars and stuff. There's, like, cayenne pepper hot cocoa, I know that exists. And there's also, like, curries, obviously, and salads that use peppers. I think pepper is a reasonable choice for an ingredient. But I don't know if it's going to be added. I don't know what it's going to be. There's so many options it could be. And really, like, okay, so Lapis Lakeside, they gave us corn. Greengrass corn. It's called greengrass corn, but it didn't get unlocked until you got to Lapis. Huh? Meanwhile, Amber Canyon, Old Gold Power Plant gave us coffee, which I guess that kind of makes sense. Like, it keeps you energized. But, Is this Eevee worth keeping? Energy recovery bonus. I'm gonna guess HPS is for help speed S. Skill level S when gentle nature. I had it tagged as an S beyond. If that's help speed S, then probably not. You can probably do better. If it's not worth the main skill seeds if you're that early game, and it's not really that great if you're later game. If that is help speed S, I don't know what HPS is supposed to mean. Be great to get new recipes that would make more mixed ingredient lists relevant. I agree. I want to see some more, this single Fueco, I swear they're never going to add a meal that uses these ingredients well together. Because I have this. That's the only reason why. Like, it just gets better and better. If I get to level 75 and I sub-skill seed it, man, that's going to be even more insane. Although it really doesn't... Wait, did that make it... Oh, no, that did make it better. Okay, help speed, yes. Okay, yeah. In that case, I wouldn't bother with it. Escobilloa. I can't even think of a dish that uses those apples, herbs, and bean sausage. Do they even have one that... No, they don't even have one that has apples and bean sausage right now. I mean, herbs and bean sausage has corn keema curry that's in the game. But there are better synergies for corn keema curry, because I've got it covered in 2 as long as I can level them up enough with my Charizard and Dragonite. I just need to get them both to level 60, which they're not currently at. These guys. Got it. Gone. Yep. Fun thought for new Pokemon stats could be at the look at the TCG. Politoed is always based around the rest of the Polyline. So imagine if they made it a pseudo with exponential strength for every frog. Huh? I'm just gonna say this. I do not do enough with I don't know anything about the TCG. So someone else can do that. That's not what I'm gonna be doing because I don't know anything about it. I wonder if they ever add Munchlax to the game in some way, like it just steals your berries for. I imagine they will someday. That'd be just fun. Like they could do something fun with it. Maybe like an additional Pokemon to siphon. I don't know. Maybe that's expert mode. Maybe the thing in expert mode is that 20% of your team's productivity is going to feed the Munchlax instead. Only if it's the off-type berries, because the Munchlax have all the extra berries. I doubt it though. That'd just be funny. Munchlax is definitely the most interesting mon in the context of sleep and how it revolves around its evolution. Yeah, it's definitely weird to think about, like how would they implement it? Speculate. Heat all of them. Non-favored berries are favored by Munchlax. Yes. Would you mind comparing 2 Dratinis? First off, they aren't even mono herbs. They both have corn. Herb. Sure, I could compare them for you. I'll compare them as Dragonites. When you evolve the Munchlax, it becomes the Snorlax for the week, and then you never see it again. That could be kind of silly. It'd have to be some sort of major, like, benefit to doing so. Because if you lose a Pokemon that you literally caught and invested time, candies, and dream shards into... I guess you really just invested dream shards and well, you didn't... Well, just candies and time. Because isn't it a friendship evolution? I don't know. I don't know how it evolves in the base game. I'm sure somebody will say something in the comments to tell me. I'm just checking on my Pokemon myself right now. Loading screen. But yeah. I'm really enjoying speculating about the upcoming week. I'm interested to see what they do with Toxtricity. It makes sense for it to be plus and minus the way that they currently have them, but I don't know, it feels weird to make it based off of nature. Which one it becomes if they're going to actually serve different purposes. Like right now, well, in the base games, plus and minus, like, it's okay that they have different things, because plus and minus do literally the same thing. So it's just flavor text. But here, they'd actually have functionally different skills. So it'd just be another added layer of RNG. Could you imagine getting the perfect Toxtricity for plus? Or, well, you got, like, the perfect skill trigger Toxtricity, but you don't need a pod expander, and it gets one of the natures that would be for a pod expander, a -1, instead of a +1. Like, that would just really, really suck. Anything that adds an extra layer of RNG to something, I'm like, ugh, that's rough. Ugh, my cables are all tangled together, my headset cable and my charging cable for my phone. I'll leave this tab open if you ever get the descriptions of them to me, but I'll, oh, it's a go-to skill pairing for skill pokes or for berry pokes. Is there anything you look for in particular? I've talked about this before, kind of. So, I've always said bare minimum investable. If, like, you need something now, I generally consider for ingredient Pokemon is, like, ingredient finding M, skill, help speed M. Skill specialist, I'd say do skill trigger instead of ingredient finding. Like, just this. And bare minimum investable for berry finder is berry finding S and berry finding S alone. But that's, like, bare minimum, you need this Pokemon today for some reason. And you don't have the time to actually hunt a good one. It's very rare that you actually come across those bare minimum investable ones. But that's also my standard for bare minimum investable. Some people, I'm sure, have higher standards than me in that regard. But usually I'd say, like, like, for berry specialists, I probably look for berry finding S and help speed M at least. Skill specialist. It really depends on the skill specialist. They vary in what they're looking for, but... Oh, well. Oh, wait. Oh, Esco's chat. Oh, I think it got filtered for some reason, Noah. I think the stats got filtered by the YouTube chat or something. Because I do not see it on my end. But yes, generally speaking, you want berry finding S on berry specialist. If you find a berry specialist with this combo, that is an immediate invest. If you're trying to search for more than that, you're messing up and spending way more time on a hunt than what you need to. If you have berry finding S help bonus, it's an instant invest. It's such a rare combo. I did the math on it the other day, and it's like it's rare enough that it isn't worth hunting for better. Because by the time that you do get it, you'll likely have spent so many resources on it that you could have been better off hunting something else. Okay. I know it would be a bit silly for the sleep tracking app, but I'd love to see megas in the game. A lot of people would love to see megas. What if berry finding S, help bonus, and speed of help down nature? I invested one of those. Yeah, it works. It's such a powerful combo. Honestly, berry finding S, help bonus with speed of help down nature, that's a prime target for your mints. Because it's such a powerful combo. Especially if it has help speed M additionally, but that's pretty rare. Skill trigger M, berry finding S, inventory up S. I guess that's ingredient finder M. Inventory L with lonely nature. Second is help speed M, inventory M, ingredient finding S, inventory up L with calm nature. Wait. Help speed M, inventory M, ingredient finding S. Okay, it's missing the 5th sub-skill, but that's alright. 5th sub-skill really doesn't matter. Calm. My gut's telling me the first one's better. Actually, yeah, so the first one's going to perform worse for ingredients, but it's going to perform a lot better for berries. Just because the ingredient finding S that can be sub-skill seeded theoretically, but you'd have to get lucky. What's your favorite sleep style in this game? Ooh. Favorite sleep style? It's one of the 3 stars for sure. I've thought about this. I've said it before. Like, that has got to be my favorite 3-star style or style in the game. But I forgot what it was. I'm not picturing it in my head right now. But I've thought it. I've had that thought of that is my favorite sleep style. But I can't remember what it is. It's not even on one of my favorite Pokemon. I have a Musharna with help on berry finding S and calm nature, but I don't think I mint that. I mean, I wouldn't mint that because also Musharna likes its main skill, actually. But I'd still invest it, because berry finding S help bonus, still very, very powerful. 5th sub-skills matter for how far out you plan. That's true, but I wouldn't invest a Dragonite like this. I guess that far. Okay, my honest take, I probably wouldn't invest either of these Dragonites. Like, they both kind of... Neither of them are great for ingredients. This one can kind of work for ingredients, but the speed of down nature is kind of holding it back. It would take a sub-skill seed. It's going to take a lot of investment as well. And it's ultimately for an ABA list. And think about how much can you make a good use of an ABA list. 63 doesn't really quite meet the meta call. I think for herbs it's 81, I think. It's 27 times 3, but yeah, it's 81. So, I mean, even with a good camp ticket, it's still pulling 76. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't bother with either of these Dragonites. I'd probably want something better. This one can work as a pseudo-berry specialist, though, with Berry Fighting S and a speed-up nature. But even then, you'd probably want to just hunt for something better. But it depends on where you're at. But Dragonite's not really an early-game invest, so I don't know. I'd probably recommend keeping the Dratini hunt, but it also depends on what you need. If you need this immediately, for some reason, invest in probably this one. But, yeah. What are the must-have healers? Well, if you need a healer for the game, well, healer, get a healer. Like, there are 4 energy for everyone Pokemon in the game. If you're early enough, just get one of them. Whichever one you get the good sub-skills and natures on first, that's the one you use. And that's generally what I'd say the rule is. If you get just a mid one that's like worth it only for the early game, and then you kind of want to catch one better, then Gardevoir is the best late game healer. Oh, I guess there are 5 healers. I forgot about Cresselia. Cresselia kind of falls into that, but ignore Cresselia. It's too expensive. That's only worth even thinking about if you just stumble into a good one for some reason. The other 4, though, are Sylveon, Wigglytuff, Pawmot, Gardevoir. Gardevoir is the best. Pawmot's short behind it, and Wigglytuff and Sylveon are basically tied for 3rd. So really you kind of got 3. And Wigglytuff and Sylveon are the same typing. That only really matters, potentially, with Expert Mode coming around. We don't know how much it will matter until more details come out. But yeah, only time will tell on that. I'd imagine, though, like I said, the 4 healers, having at least Gardevoir is the best, but Gardevoir is a Lapis Lakeside exclusive, unless you somehow have Greengrass Expert Mode unlocked before getting to Lapis. I would love to see someone try that. I would love to see someone try to unlock Expert Mode at Greengrass before they unlock... Well, I guess it'd be really easy. Just drop a boatload of money on the game and whistle the way. But I would love to see someone try to do it without whistling. A good healer is the best one to have. Yeah. Well, yeah, but you want something before you get to Lapis. It can be months before you get to Lapis. And if you get, like, let's say early game, you catch one that... An Igglybuff with skill trigger M, skill level up M, skill level up S. Like, just level that thing to level 50. Don't even care about what the nature is. Gets you a max level healer right away. It's gonna be helpful. Granted, that's pretty lucky if you stumble into that. But even if you just get one with, like, skill level up M, it only takes 1 seed if it has that skill. That's probably the primary target because you don't want to waste too many seeds on it because it's only going to be with you for a temporary amount of time. But the healer is very, very powerful. Is Arcanine even worth it? I found a shiny with Berry Fighting S and 2 trigger subskills, but main skill down nature. Well, it's a shiny. It's got Berry Fighting S, which is a very powerful main skill or subskill on Arcanine. 2 triggers is good. The main skill down nature sucks. If there's anything to use a mint on, it is that, because shiny. Yo, livestream time. Indeed, Nitramsic42. It's a pretty chill live stream. We're just kind of chatting it up. Answering any questions. It's kind of a Q&A sort of thing. I'm talking about anything and everything that you guys want to talk about. I was kind of throwing together my teams and planning for expert mode potentially. We don't know really what expert mode looks like yet. And I'm just hypothesizing. Hypothesizing what it would look like with a modifier of like 30%, because I think that's the maximum that it probably will be. I guess maybe 50% if they really want to mess with things, but it's probably somewhere from 20 to 30% is my estimate. My official estimate for where the nerf is going to be. Unfortunately, they make it that it only applies globally, and there's no way to target for just specific types, so I can't really actually project things or predict things. But still, even a 30% debuffed Cress on this team is still producing 8 procs a day with the boosts from the skill week. So, honestly, I think no matter what, if I end up going expert mode, I probably run the Crest no matter what. Sylveon, I don't know. If I'm running Crest, I probably want to run Sylveon as well. Or, not Sylveon. Espeon. It might be time to end the stream soon. You know what? I'm going to say 15 minutes left of the stream. 1 o'clock, I'm planning on ending it. 1 o'clock Central Time. Because I'm starting to get tired. So you guys got 15 minutes to get in all your questions. What kind of ingredient spreads do you look for when prepping meals for upcoming events? Event weeks. Well, I typically try to build around my berry specialist that I intend to use. So if I notice, like, my Raichu, and if I intend to go to, say, Old Gold Power Plant, I'll tend to try and, like, this Raichu has apples. So when I look for meals that have a lot of apples, that I can then take advantage of the apples on my Raichu. What's the deal with Blissey v Chansey? I saw in one of your past videos they weren't going to change something. After party in the Discord. Oh gosh. So Blissey versus Chansey. So there was a bug report that was made, or there was like an update shortly after Blissey was released. People must have been sending in bug reports for the fact that Chansey with a 2,000-hour ribbon technically outproduces Blissey if you're collecting all the time. And they then posted a thing later, a news post that officially said, bug notice. And the whole news basically said, Chansey is faster than Blissey with a 2,000-hour ribbon. And the conclusion of the bug notice was, this will remain as is. They're not going to mess with it. And that's basically what I was trying to say with that is, they basically said, we're leaving it as is. We're not buffing Blissey or nerfing Chansey. It's supposed to be this way. They didn't say it's supposed to be that way, but it just kind of comes off that way almost. Most overrated mon in this game? I don't know. I guess I have to look through a list of them. I have to look at all the mons that are in the game. Which Discord channel is the APT? I don't know what you mean by the APT. Will not fix. Yeah, they basically said they will not fix it. Which, I don't know. Okay, overrated Pokemon. I'm going to say Weavile. Weavile is very, very good, don't get me wrong. But it's too expensive. Too expensive to be worth it, and especially now that Swampert's around, it still is not worth the hunt. And I never have thought it was worth the hunt. A while back, I would have said Delibird. But then ever since they released Blissey, then Delibird's no longer in that status, because everybody kind of realized how overrated Delibird was after Blissey was around. Will not fix or Shiny Chansey's Riot. I found the perfect Sableye. Sad that he sucks in the meta. Well, a great Sableye actually can do pretty well, similar to Swalot, and Swalot is pretty good. So yeah. Breaking news, we're doing nothing. I mean, we're having fun. Plus, Weavile has a high ingredient rate. I mean, yeah, but that doesn't really matter in the end of things. If you make good use of the ingredients, then it's actually better. Weavile, the best Pokemon for the worst area. Yeah, that's also a thing. It only really applies to Snowdrop. So yeah, if I had to pick the most overrated Pokemon in the game, probably Weavile. Honestly, I'd say the same thing about Steelix Onyx, but to a lesser extent, because at least with Steelix and Onyx, actually no, any of the 16-pip Pokemon that aren't, like, Dedenne. Dedenne is, like, the one... Well, not any of this... Because, like, people don't overrate Heracross. People don't overrate, like, Absol or Comfey. But any of the ones that people consider good that are 16-pip Pokemon, I think are somewhat overrated just because they're so expensive. Rain News, we're doing nothing. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Chansey News, not live. You're all good. No, we're not doing much here anyway, so I wasn't even bothered. But yeah. That's really it. Farfetch'd as well. Maybe that's a real hot take. I think Farfetch'd is pretty overrated because expense. I'm very much so. I focus on return on investment. And return on investment is just not there for me. Especially when I already have a Quackable. Now, not everyone does. Not everyone got lucky with the Quackable hunt. But return on investment. Yes, Farfetch'd is better. Significantly better. But how much does it cost you to get the thing that is better? Yeah, Farfetch'd mad overrated when Quackable is fine. Yep, I'd agree with that. Yep, okay. So that's my conclusion. Most overrated Pokemon in the game are those that cost 16 pips that people say are good. Something else to consider, people don't send those candies all that often because they're pretty rare. You don't encounter them that often, so they're pretty rare. You're not going to be leveling that thing very much. Either. And levels matter so much. It's just going to drain your handy candies. I already have to dedicate all my handy candies to Crest. That has been one hefty investment. I cannot wait till that thing is level 65. And then they release level 70 the next day. Because that's just going to be my luck. But people did overrate Absol for a long time. I don't know. People always kind of realized that Blastoise was comparative for Cacao. At least from the things that I saw. People just overrate monos, I think. Or mono ingredient specialists. As well. Especially over ABB options. It feels like level 60 is far away, but if you find one that is truly good, you can invest, like, the one that you catch up to level 60. Granted, I guess I'm saying that, and I still have yet to finish the investment on my Luxray. But, you know, there are other level 60 Pokemon that I have at level 60. Other ingredient specialists. My Vikavolt is level 60. My Gengar is level 60. My Quackable is level 60. And then I have a lot of non-ingredient specialists that are level 60. Like my Gardevoir, Espeon, Cresselia, Raichu, second Raichu. So, it's possible. The subreddit was obsessed with Absol when the game first came out. Some people use Master Biscuits on it. That is true. But that was also... I kind of consider those days of the game very different. Because those were the days before RaenonX was as refined of a tool as it is now. It's now a lot more powerful and we can actually make the comparisons. Back then it was kind of very rudimentary. And didn't even count for all skills. Didn't even bother with skills right away. Like, it was just very, very dull. It was very difficult to predict what was actually good back then. I hope for next Halloween event we don't get another different color Hat Pikachu. I want more new mons. Maybe they'll give us Hat Eevee. Halloween Hat Eevee. They gave us Holiday Hat Eevee. Sneaky Snacking 5 or Typhlosion or Bust. Huh? I got a shiny Trico with Berry Fighting S, good speed, and good triggers. Let's just say he's level 51 already. Yeah, dude, with the boosts to candy that were around during the anniversary event, and also the boost to, like, Sceptile, Grovyle, and Trico spawns, I got so much candy from the event. Like, it was crazy. My Sceptile is already level 50 as well. I think I could get a level 51? Let's see. I have 58 candies. I could get it to level 51 right now if I wanted to, but I'm also kind of trying to preserve my dream shards. And I'm not using them right now, so later. But yeah, sneaky snacking 5 times. I'm trying to figure out what that message means. Maybe I'm tired, but maybe I'm just getting extra tired because I was up late last night. But yeah, all the 6 and Darkrai was definitely way overrated when it was released. But I think as the dust settled and people started realizing, oh, sneaky. I see what you're saying. Sneaky snacking 5 type illusion or bust. Back then, though, that was actually a decent strategy. Because that's the weird thing. Back then, it was before they fixed the energy bug. And this is a very interesting discussion. Back then, there was a bug that if you slept while you were sleeping, you would generate... Your Pokemon acted as if they were at max energy, even when they dipped below it. They didn't continue to lose energy throughout the night. So energy was a lot less impactful. Which is funny, because even back then, people were saying, get a healer. Healing is so impactful. And yet, back then, it was actually weaker than it is now. Nowadays, your energy continues to diminish, and then if you hit the bottom out in the night, you lose a lot of productivity. Back then, though, there was a bug that made it so that they operate as max energy. So there were people that were genuinely running 5 berry specialists, and then just putting their phone to sleep for the full day. And then that would make it so that they just sneaky snack all day long. It'd be as if they had a healer on the team, because it would act as if they're at 100% energy. Wake up, do their sleep session review, put the phone back to sleep. Which at that point, I'm like, what's the point? Like, you're still using your phone for that? So, I don't know. But it was something that was addressed pretty early on, because it was a bug, and people were abusing it for sure. And technically everyone was benefiting from it. Even people that weren't abusing it were benefiting from it. Because, you know, everybody slept, and everybody got free energy by sleeping. Everyone except for Go++ users. Because it didn't do it on the Go++ because you weren't putting your phone to sleep. You were putting them to sleep using the Go++. So, the only people that were playing the game as intended were those that had the Go++. And honestly, I think they probably sold less Go++ at that time, because using a Go++ was a straight-up nerf. Rather than now, it's kind of a buff, actually, if you think about it, because you can do what I'm doing right now and have your Pokemon sleeping in the other room, but I can still keep collecting from them if I am physically awake, but the Pokemon are asleep. Is it technically cheating? Probably. The classic pay-to-lose strategy. Exactly, Brosidon. That's what it was back then if you got the Go++ to some extent. It was more convenient because you could actually use your phone while you were sleeping. Or sleeping, whatever. But the energy nerf was just kind of funny. I think that's why they changed it. It also made healers a lot more relevant. Healers went from a good Pokemon to being an essential Pokemon. Because before they were just kind of like, they were good, don't get me wrong. But that shows how powerful energy for everyone is. It was so good that even back then we considered it good. When Pokemon didn't lose energy in the night. Nowadays that the energy system has changed, they are... that makes the value of them so much more. It took it from, like, what I'd say it was a balanced skill. Now it's an overpowered skill. A centralizing skill, one might say. Centralizing to the meta of the game. And that is for sure. Every team... if I go into team analysis and I start building a team, the first thing I do is I go in this last slot, click add, and think, what healer do I want? Do I want Pawmot, Gardevoir, or Cresselia? Usually it's Cresselia, and I do this. If I'm at Old Gold Power Plant, or I'm theorizing like a mono-type team, I'll go like this for Pawmot, who is a Pawmo right now because of evolution restrictions. Unfortunately. Can't wait to level that guy up and evolve him. He is level 50, though. I do need to update that, come to think of it. Where is the little guy? I should just sort my box. An infinite energy week would be interesting. Yeah, I think this is probably one of my biggest hot takes. But I think even though people would hate it, people would absolutely hate this. But I think the game would benefit from a nerf to energy for everyone. And I think that's kind of what they're doing. I think that's kind of part of the reason why they're doing expert mode. But I think genuinely the game would benefit long run if there was a nerf to it. Because right now it is overly centralizing. It is overpowered to the point that we don't even consider... When Blaziken was released, a lot of us are saying... A lot of the reaction was... They gave it a bum skill. It's like it doesn't even have a main skill. What's the point of this? You know what? If energy for everyone were weaker, those skills would actually offer some value. And we could consider more interesting combinations of energizing, like self-recharging Pokemon. Right now, energy for everyone is genuinely centralizing, and it makes other skills just not possible to use effectively as long as energy for everyone is available to use. And the only way you could really get around that is not by buffing the other skills, because whatever keeps your team topped off is whatever keeps your team topped off. So it makes it... And energy for everyone is the only thing that can reliably do that. Even if they buff Energizing Cheer to be plus 100% energy, instead of plus 50%, there's still more RNG involved in it than there is in energy for everyone. So I'm not sure you can buff the other skills to make them good. And all it would do is if they did make them better, was those skills would become overpowered skills. It wouldn't make energy for everyone any... They'd still become... It'd just be centralizing all around for any energy recovery Pokemon. And I think the only way to make it balanced, because in my experience with the Sleepers, Energizing Cheer is an incredibly balanced skill. But it is only bad in our eyes because, comparative to energy for everyone, it sucks. Because it's competing against an overpowered skill. But if they were to nerf energy for everyone, I think it could, long run, be beneficial and more fun to play the game. Because we'd have to be more creative with the teams we have to build around. But I don't think they're ever going to do that because people would be so ticked if they invested their healers. Look at me. I've invested 2 healers, investing a 3rd right now. If they nerfed it, people would be ticked. Even if it is what's better for the game, people would be ticked. And I guess that's probably one of my biggest hot takes. But I don't know if it's a hot take, more just a statement about it. I don't know if they actually should do it or not. Because it would make people very, very mad. But it would be monumental. It'd be interesting to see. But I think a part of that is they kind of want to semi-nerf it. And that's kind of why they made expert mode, is they want to try and restrict our options more. So I don't think we're going to be getting that many more energy for everyone Pokemon. But anyway, mini late rant in the side. It's always better to buff than to nerf. Yes, I would agree with that. But when it comes to this... it's not necessarily that... If you look at the mechanics, if they were to buff Energizing Cheer, the innate flaw with it is that it is random. They could make it fixed to a single Pokemon, or just always be guaranteed to hit the weakest. They could make it proc more often. There are ways they could maybe give it a little bit of a niche. But the problem is, if your energy for everyone healer always keeps the team topped off, which everyone that's invested fully probably has something that can pretty reliably do that, then buffing it doesn't matter. Because there's no reason to get the more random option. The one that takes more procs to work. The one that, like, the alternate. It's the only way they could make it work better is if they gave us more ways to use more energy, like Darkrai's main skill. Honestly, Darkrai does kind of give validity to more energy recovery. Interestingly enough. But I don't know. It's not a good idea to nerf things, generally speaking. But if anything deserves a genuine nerf in this game, it is energy for everyone. Because I just don't know how you would buff the alternatives to make them actually relevant. But it's not really a problem because people seem to enjoy the game either way. Team building is still fun because that's only one component of team building, is just the healer. But I think it would be more fun for us to be able to actually consider the charge energy S and to consider energizing cheer on Pokemon. But how would we even fix it? Aside from nerfing energy for everyone, how would we make energizing cheer good? So yeah. I'm very happy I've invested a healer of every available type. It will definitely help for expert mode. Yeah, I'm glad I did too. Because, you know, I've got Pawmo, which will soon be a Pawmot. I've got a Wigglytuff that was my early game healer that I will be bringing out of retirement if I roll Fairy Berries. And I've got Cress and Gardevoir, which I'll probably just use Cress, but only time will tell on that one. Oh, hey there, Carolyn. Glad you're back. I hate to break it to you, but I was just planning on ending off the stream. I just finished a long rant, got some responses, and had some interesting discussion. But anyway, I'm ending it off here, so I'm sorry it's a bit late. It's just after 1 a.m. my time, and I was up late last night, need to get to bed, so if you have enjoyed the video, or the stream, be sure to leave a like, and also subscribe if you aren't already. Huge thank you to all of you for tuning in. It's been a great time. I hope you all have a wonderful night, morning, day, whatever it is for you when you're viewing this. Anyway, have a wonderful day.